today is also Kadashi, very auspicious day for us to engage more deeply in our devotional practice. So we've come to chapter 5. We're beginning chapter 5, Prapanna-jivanamritam. Words of nectar from the devotees, Rakshishyatiti Vishvasa. Confidence in the Lord's protection. So this is one of the principal limbs of Sharanagati, of surrender, to have, in whatever circumstances one finds themselves, to maintain this mood of feeling the Lord's protection over oneself, feeling that the Lord is with one. To have that type of conviction. The Lord's grace, the Lord's affection, the Lord's protection is over one. And now this is Paramguru Maharaj's introductory verse to this chapter, summing up this spirit. Lakshishyati himam Krishno bhaktanam bandhavascha sa kshemam vidasyatiti yad vishvaso chaiva griyate. Certainly Lord Krishna will protect me, because he is the friend of the devotees. He will definitely bless us with all auspiciousness and success. Within this chapter, such faith is sustained. And then this brings up a point, because, it's saying here, Krishna is the friend of the devotees. He's known as, Bhakta Vatsala. He is the friend of the devotees. So he will definitely, be there for me. But then naturally we will look at ourselves and say, well, I'm not a devotee. then how can I think that, that why should Krishna give me his protection? Why should he help me? I'm just a humble practicing devotee with very little merits to my name. I'm struggling along. I'm not a real devotee. So how can I think Krishna? How can I have that type of confidence and conviction? And this is something I thought about for some time. But the answer is I found in Haridas Thakur, when he's going to leave this world, in that chapter in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He makes some expression that I am sure Krishna will, or you will, maybe he's speaking to Mahaprabhu, I don't remember the exact phrase, but he refers to himself as a bhakta bas, as a shadow of a devotee. And so because of that, he's expecting to receive the Lord's mercy. Something like that. So in the same way, we can think, we're not real devotees yet, but we're shadow devotees. We're something there. Something is there. And that's enough. That's enough, to draw the Lord's grace. Just that he sees we're trying. And another way we can understand it and have this conviction is by seeing that, okay, we're not real devotees, but our Gurudev is a real devotee. He's got some connections. Through his connection, we can get everything. Through his connection, Krishna will take care of us. Gurudev will take care of us, and if Gurudev takes care of us, everyone's going to take care of us. Srila Gurudev, he liked very much one verse of Raghunath Das Goswami. I wish I could memorize that verse. Nirupadi Kurunena Shishachi Nandanena. I can never remember it. But it's in these prayers of Raghunath Das Goswami to Govardhan. Govardhana Vas Partana Dashakam. Praying for the 10 prayers, praying for residence in Govardhan, praying for the grace of Govardhan. And Raghunath Das Goswami is directly appealing to Govardhan. But one of those verses there in particular is very relevant for us and very hopeful for us. Or this verse, he's saying that, I myself, I have 0 qualities. Not only that, but I'm in the minus side of things. I'm a cheater and I'm deceitful. I'm so sinful, etc. However, your dearmost one, Shri Shachinandam, he gave me to you. He gave me to you, and therefore you cannot ignore me. Therefore you have to pay attention to me. You have to give your mercy and your shelter to me. You know, on my own I have no merit. There's no reason why you should be convinced to, you know, if you look on the justice side of things, some you know, checks and balances, you know, there's nothing that should move you to think that I'm worthy. However, no, who is beloved to you? Shri Sachinandan, Shri Chaitanya Dev, Mahaprabhu. He has affection for me. He loves me, and he's given me to you, for your care. So therefore, you cannot ignore me. You cannot disregard me. And so Srila Gurudev commented, you know, through the connection of our Guru Maharaj, we can get so many things. You know. So that, you know, that will give us some proper angle of vision. You know, okay, I'm not a devotee. I can't, on the basis of my own merit, I can't be confident the Lord will give His protection to me. But I'm trying. I'm on the path to become a devotee, and I have a connection with real devotees. You know. So then, you know, He must be there in my life. His grace must be there for me. Okay. So now this is the first verse here. Sarvalokeshu Shri Krishna Padabjaika Rakshakatvam. The lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, the only protection for all planes of life. And this is spoken by Devaki, Srimati Devaki, Lord Krishna's mother, in Mathura. Martyo mrityu vyala bita palayan lokan sarva nirbhayam najagacha tvatpadabjam prapya yajicha yadya sushta shete mrityur asman apaiti. O Supreme Lord, despite fleeing throughout every planet of the universe, out of fear of the black snake of death, the mortal being cannot find a place devoid of fear. And this is so profound, you know, I think about this sometimes, because it's a matter of consciousness, and it's a matter of grace, because, you know, people who like are in their mansions with their, you know, $1 million security systems and, you know, dozens of bodyguards and so on and so forth, they're still living in fear, you know. I don't want to get into, like, you know, name bashing here, but I was reading one of these big name billionaires, you know, who owns like you know, huge percentage of the world's wealth. How he spent, there was this scandal because he spent so many millions of dollars in security measures for himself. He was using the company's money in all these security measures for himself. You know, and so this created some controversy. But I was thinking, like flying to places by helicopter with all these bodyguards, you know, to avoid being in the public eye and so on and so forth. And I was just thinking, this is like so sad, you know, like he has everything, you know, he's got everything that anyone would want in this world, but he's still afraid, you know, and he has to spend this huge amounts of money just for his own peace of mind, you know, and still he's going to be feeling some fear. You know? Like, you know, you can go all over the place, you know, and go to extreme lengths for your own protection, but that fear is still hanging over you. But only coming to the shelter of the Lord, that puts you in this position of fearlessness, because then you actually perceive that the Lord's protection is directly over you, no matter what happens. You're not dependent on some particular, arrangement of variables in the environment. You're not dependent on any factor of the environment. You're in this very strong, fearless, and infallible position. That's the power of the surrendered soul. They're perceiving the Lord's grace and the Lord's connection behind everything. They don't need to go to some separate measures for their protection. Of course, some common sense is there. No, we lock our doors. Basic things like that, you know. O Supreme Lord, despite fleeing throughout every planet of the universe out of fear of the black snake of death, the mortal being cannot find a place devoid of fear. But when he is blessed with the fortune of coming to the shelter of your lotus feet, he becomes reposed with a peaceful heart, and death itself flees from his company. And there's a really nice, I don't know if I can remember, Yad Vibeti, Swayam Vibho. It's in the beginning of Bhagavatam. Srila Gurudev quotes that who is Krishna? Who fear himself is afraid of, you know. or like, you know, we say Abhay Charanara Vinda, right? The fearless lotus feet of the Lord. There's no fear there, you know. Actually, I'm sad I missed Jajavar Maharaj's divine, maybe his disappearance day. I think it was last week. It's on our calendar. But there was this famous, he was the last sannyas disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And very close with Srila Sridhar Maharaj. My impression is that Jajavar Maharaj was like the dearest and closest godbrother of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. But there was this famous incident. He was you know, relatively young, like late 20s or early 30s when he took sannyas. Normally persons would take later, but Saraswati Thakur himself requested him to take sannyas. But then there were some others, maybe some of his family members, some friends. They were concerned, you know, like, you're so young, and you think you can maintain. And he was very beautiful too. You think you can maintain your sannyas for your whole life? And so he started to feel some doubts about this, and felt some fear about taking sannyas. And this was conveyed, this was told, somebody told this to Saraswati Thakur. And he called for Jajavar Maharaj, and he told him, it was so wonderful, his expression, why are you fearful? You are going to take shelter of the place where there's no fear. Abhay Charanara Vinda, the fearless lotus feet, Abhay Charan. The fearless lotus feet of the place where there is no fear. There's no question of having fear. Why should you be fearful? So whom fear himself is afraid of, you know, that is the Lord. So if we take shelter of him, you know, then automatically fearlessness will be extended to us. Very nice expression. Mayadi Shashyaiva Bhagavata Kshema Vidachitvam. Only the absolute magician, the Supreme Lord, is capable of bestowing all good fortune. Vishwasya Yastiti Layudbhava Hito Radyo Yogeshware Api Duratyaya Yoga Maya Kshemam Vidasyati Sano Bhagavam Striyadishash Tatras Madhya Vimishena Kiyan Vihartaha. Spoken by Lord Brahma. The Supreme Lord of the three worlds, who is the cause of the universal creation, sustenance, and annihilation, and whose magical potency is insurmountable for even the greatest yogis, will surely bless us with all good fortune. Could we ever doubt this? The Supreme Lord of the three worlds, who is the cause of the universal creation, sustenance, and annihilation, and whose magical potency is insurmountable for even the greatest yogis, will surely bless us with all good fortune. Could we ever doubt this? He has such power at his back, you know, the Supreme. Everything's running under his control. And if we have his connection, we are very safe. And now this is very, very significant verse of Parikshit Maharaj. And so I don't know if you're so familiar with the history of Parikshit Maharaj, how he was cursed to die within 7 days. This is how Bhagavatam came out, that he received this curse from a Brahmin boy to die within 7 days, and so he was a great devotee. And actually, the whole thing was Leela to facilitate the coming of the message of Bhagavatam, and so he happily, and he had the power to counteract that curse, but he accepted it peacefully, and he set himself up on the banks of the Ganga, fasting until death, awaiting death. And because he was such a great king, very noble and very religious, very devotional, then so many great persons from different different schools in the Vedic thought, they all came to pay tribute to him and also to offer him some advice. And he was wanting that, so he had this huge assembly around him of all these great sages representing different conceptions of the Vedas. And he was asking them, what's the best thing for me to do, when I'm about to die? And then in the end it was Shuka, and everyone's giving their different answers, and they all have so many different versions. And then finally Shukadev came as this naked, mad-looking teenage boy. But when it's interesting, because he was in this condition, he was totally in Brahma Gyan. He was fully living on the spiritual platform. So he was so disconnected from his body. And so ordinary people, they just saw some madman, and it's interesting because it describes in Bhagavatam how as Shukadev was approaching this assembly, there were these village boys throwing stones at him and shouting names, but when he entered the assembly, and this is an assembly of all these higher minded persons, they all stood, and they all universally accepted him as the most evolved person in the group. And they happily gave him the seat of the highest honor. Very, very interesting. The ordinary, ignorant persons, they just see a madman. But for qualified persons who have the eye to see, they could recognize this is a very evolved soul. And so he was given the seat of the highest honor. And then he came to speak up Bhagavatam and Krishna consciousness. But anyhow, then there's this wonderful expression of Parikshit Maharaj, which is so profound, so poignant, because he's on the brink of death, and he's saying here, let me die immediately. I don't care. What's really significant, this is a temporary thing. This body, this world, this circumstance, this is all temporary. But this current of Harikatha, this is of eternal value. My only prayer is that this can continue and uplift all the souls of this world. And so then you see, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's taken this verse, and where has he put it? He's put it in confidence in the Lord's protection. He's about to die. His death sentence has been told. He's feeling the Lord's protection. He's feeling that protection is not protection over this body. Real protection is not anything pertaining to this temporary mortal world. Real protection is pertaining to one's consciousness, to the welfare of one's soul. So it's very, very profound, this verse, and then where Srila Sridhar Maharaj has placed it right here in this chapter. It is so significant. And so right off the bat, at the beginning of this chapter, we're being slapped on the head. What is real protection? Really, deconstruct all of your bogus ideas about what protection, what success, what wealth is. All of these things that we believe in a conscious or unconscious way. Just throw all of that away. Really, really get down to it, what it really is. What is real grace? What is real protection? So it's quite radical. So Param Guru Maharaj's illumination faith even in the face. Oh, I don't know if I read the Sanskrit. Padyapi Shri Krishna Kataika Rakshana Vishwasa. Faith even in the face of impending doom, that tidings of Lord Krishna, Sri Harikatha, is the only protection. And this is the verse, so beautiful. Tammapayatam pratiyantu vipra gangacha devi jutta chitta mishe dvijopa shishta kuhakas taksha kova dashatvalam gayata vishnu gata. So this is like a dramatic scene. This is a Hollywood scene. Picture Maharaj is on the banks of the Ganga, on the brink of death, and he's got this huge assembly of like hundreds, if not thousands, of all these like noble sages, dignified sages, with their long beards and all their years of austerities and mantras and so on and so forth. This is like a really dramatic scene. And so he's speaking, and then he's speaking this like dramatic expression to all of them. This is like so powerful. You don't need to go to Hollywood. Like, just read Shiva and Bhagavatam. Like, this is gripping stuff. This is, whatever Hollywood has to offer, this is nothing. And Bollywood. O pure Brahmins, may you kindly know me as a surrendered soul, and let Mother Ganges accept me as one whose heart is offered to Lord Krishna. Let the winged serpent, Takshak, or whatever magical creation has been incited by the son of the Brahmin, bite me immediately if it so desires. May you all simply go on singing the glories of the Lord. Jai. O pure Brahmins, may you kindly know me as a surrendered soul, and let Mother Ganges accept me as one whose heart is offered to Lord Krishna. Let the winged serpent Takshak, or whatever magical creation has been incited by the son of the Brahmin, bite me immediately if it so desires. May you all simply go on singing the glories of the Lord. Pray, it's such a touch, just to touch the shadow of such a sentiment, may enter our hearts. Such strength of faith, conviction. Haridasa Harinara Kshita Eva. The servants of Lord Hari are always protected by Lord Hari. And this is a verse by Kulashekar, Sri Kulashekar. Ma ber mandamano vichincha bahuda yamishchiram yatana naivami prabhavanti papa viprava swami nanu shidhara alasyam vyapaniya bhakti sulabam jayasva narayanam lokasya vyasana pano danakado dasasya kimna kshama. O wicked mind, fear not the thought of the multifarious, perpetual tortures that are your due. Your enemies, your sins, have no claim over you, because the only actual Lord and Master is the Supreme Lord, Sridhar. Give up your apathy and absorb your thoughts in Lord Narayan, who is happily attainable by devotion. Is not he who destroys the calamities of all planets capable of annihilating the defects of his personal servitors? And I think of this verse sometimes. It's very, very hopeful. Because this happens, as we go deeper into the practice, then the process of purification begins, and all this stuff starts coming up. You start sweeping your house, and suddenly all these corners of dust, pockets of dust that they've been settled for so long, they all start coming up, and it's dirtier than it was before, and it's all flying all over the place, and because you're cleaning, because you're sweeping. So, and I mean, it's something I go through, something many have come to me about, will come to anyone practicing. we start to feel this pessimism, some discouragement, like we're not getting anywhere, we're just getting worse, we're going backwards, and there's all these insurmountable things in front of me, and it just seems impossible, I'm never going to be free. And Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsaya, lust, anger, greed, envy, madness, so on and so forth. The list goes on. So then unfortunately you see persons who they lose their enthusiasm actually to continue, because they actually get depressed, But no, so this is a wonderful remedy for that state of mind. Give up your apathy and absorb your thoughts in Lord Narayan, who is happily attainable by devotion. Is not he who destroys the calamities of all planets capable of annihilating the defects of his personal servitors? He's running the whole show. He has such power at his back, and he can't remove some little anarthas within you. This is nothing for him. You just have to, hang in there, wait for that grace to come. And the thing is that interim period, that's so purifying. When we're like in that fire, and we're perceiving all these things, that's like that's increasing that intensity and that striving and that earnestness within ourselves. So we actually need it. Like it increases our mood of desperation when we see these faults, these impurity. It induces us to take shelter in a deeper way. That's where it should take us if we're being progressive. Like, my God, I'm such a mess. I can't do it on my own. Please, Lord, I'm taking shelter of you. Please help me. I have no other way. So it's necessary, for this, trouble, for all these, this fire within ourselves to rise up. And it will increase our determination. If we're sincere, we'll go to, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj has also mentioned this, we will dive deeper into the shelter. We'll dive deeper into our devotional practice, into our service, and so on, sadhu sangha. We will feel a deeper necessity for these things. The only thing that we are actually lacking is the feeling of necessity, that feeling of hunger. Because if we really realized how much we need this, we would get it. It's just like if you're hungry and you need to eat some food. You can have some so many wonderful organic and biodynamic, prepper, vegan and gluten-free preparations. But if you don't have if you're not feeling hungry, somebody can give you this wonderful meal. But if you're not feeling hungry because you just ate some pizza from Pizza Hut, or you ate some chips or whatever, you're full of this junk food, then you're not going to really be feeling necessity for this wonderful, healthy meal in front of you. So in the same way, because we're feeding ourselves with so many other things, we're not really feeling necessity. We're not really feeling hunger for spiritual life. But if we really felt it, we would actually get it, because we would need it. It's actually a question of necessity. That's actually what it is. Tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam. This is pointed out by Rupa Goswami as the only way to get Krishna consciousness. Through one's lolyam, through one's intense greed, hunger, necessity to have it. It has to come. We will feel the meaning of it. We'll feel they also say, hunger's the best spice. You can eat some very plain thing if you're hungry, and suddenly it's like ecstasy. And you can eat something very delicious, not feeling hungry, and it's, not so tasteful. So actually, I put that quote up a couple of weeks ago of Gurudev's, which is so nice. It said if we can actually appreciate what our Guru is giving us, pure Krishna consciousness, if we actually appreciate the value of that, then he said, then in every word, in every expression that we hear, we will feel my whole existence is here. that depth of appreciation, every word, every expression, every phrase pertaining to Krishna consciousness, we will feel such profound appreciation. My whole existence is here. We wouldn't be able to read, actually. We'll just read one phrase and we'll just be stuck on that, because we can spend days just talking about one of these verses, you're just thinking about one of these verses. There's so much, packed in every expression here. We're just skimming through the surface, If we were actually appreciating, it'd be you're just stuck there,
It's a good point that your sins, faults have no claim over you, because the only actual Lord and Master is the Supreme Lord. That's a good one,
Yeah.
Because it's sort of, it takes the me out of it. It's well, what are you claiming? You're sort of claiming a whole lot of stuff if you're trying to take this all on, because it's not really belonging. And you're not in charge of it anyway. And it's it's just sort of puts it really well.
Once we go to offer ourselves to the Lord, our account merges with His account. Our problems are now His problems. If one can come to that, the level of surrender. There's one place where Param Guru Maharaj is saying that we can actually pray in this way to the Lord, that, I'm your property. I gave myself to you. If there's any problem with me, it's your responsibility to fix it. And he says, if there's anything wrong with my documents, kindly fix it, kindly correct it. He actually says it like that. If there's anything wrong with my documents, wrong with my paperwork, I belong your property. It's your responsibility. You have to take care of me. It's not up to me, I'm in your care now, And there's also beautiful expression of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, similar idea, in one of the Gopinath songs, where he says, Vimukha Dekya, Gopinath Eki Vicharata, Vimukha Dekya, begins like that, Oh Gopinath, is this your decision? That seeing that I am averse to you, you won't give me a particle of your mercy. Seeing that I don't want your mercy, you're not going to give me mercy. like a child, if the child is saying, leave me alone, Mom, the child doesn't actually mean, get out of my life, if the mother actually was fine, I'm just going to pick up and go, child would be very unhappy. There's a deeper, more intimate relationship there. Even though I'm in this difficult space right now, and I'm so contrary right now, on a deeper level, I'm totally dependent on your mercy and dependent on your affection and your grace. So that kind of hearty approach, we can, where there's some allowance for that. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. To have that degree of dependency.
It's good to have powerful language. The sound of the words in there are very powerful.
Yeah.
It's got to, because everyone uses Sanskrit differently. You hear the poetry of one person, but that's powerful. That Bahuri Yamish Chiramyatana. Does that mean? I'm not a Sanskritian, I know a few words. Yeah, sure.
Bahuda, I think that means that's multifarious. Means many. There's a few words.
Many.
I can. Chiram is maybe perpetual, for a long time. Mandamano means wicked mind, my wicked mind.
It's powerful. It's poetic. Very.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, even if we don't know the word for word meaning, there's power here, because this is coming from the heart of a Vaishnava. This is Kula Shekhar's That's why it's like striking your heart, because you're receptive to it, but also because this isn't just words, but this has potency. This is actually like a direct heart expression of Kula Shekar. And that's why it's important, and Gurudev has pointed this out, it's important to actually like vibrate and to meditate on the actual original expression. It's not about Sanskrit, like, oh, Sanskrit, you know. It's actually about how it came out of the heart of the devotee. So whether it was in French or Persian or English, that's not the question. The question is how it came out, you know. So sometimes, you know, devotees, they'll make songs in their own languages, or they'll just sing the translation instead of the original, and that's okay, that's nice, and it's good to understand the meaning too, on a theoretical level. But we cannot, you know, just cut out that original expression, because that has value. That's what came out of the heart of the devotee. And Gurudev has mentioned, you know, even if we don't understand, you know, just to hear with faith, you know, that's affecting our soul. It's powerful, as you said. And you know, the will of the Vaishnava, their heart expression and their will, their goodwill upon us, you know, they're all there in that original expression. Well, I'll just read that one again, since we've been meditating on it so much. O wicked mind, fear not the thought of the multifarious perpetual tortures that are your due. Your enemies, your sins, have no claim over you, because the only actual Lord and Master is the Supreme Lord, Sridhar. Give up your apathy and absorb your thoughts in Lord Narayan, who is happily attainable by devotion. Is not he who destroys the calamities of all planets capable of annihilating the defects of his personal servitude? Okay. Next verse, also by Kula Shekar. Samsara dukkha klishtanam Shri Vishnu paramam padam evaika shayaha. The holy feet of Lord Vishnu are the only shelter for persons tormented by the miseries of material existence. Vavajaladi gatanam dvandva vata hatanam sutta duhitra kalatra trana barar ditanam Vishama vishaya toye majatam aplavanam Bhavati sharanam eko Vishnu poto nadanam. For persons who, bereft of a vessel, have fallen into the ocean of mundane existence, who are being lashed by the hurricane of duality based on mundane attraction and aversion, who are crushed by the burden of protecting wife and family, etc., who are drowning in the ghastly whirlpool of sensual pleasures. The only shelter is the lifeboat of the holy lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. It's so heavy.
Yeah, he's really passionate and intense, and he contrasts powerful things. You know?
This is the human condition right here.
The hurricane of duality. I've never heard anyone express that like that, really.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, hurricane. It's great.
For those persons who, bereft of a vessel, have fallen into the ocean of mundane existence, who are being lashed by the hurricane of duality based on mundane attraction and aversion, who are crushed by the burden of protecting wife and family, etc., who are drowning in the ghastly whirlpool of sensual pleasures. The only shelter is the lifeboat of the holy lotus feet of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. And it's interesting because it takes, you know, one has to have received a particular level of grace to realize that they're actually in a state of suffering, you know, like to realize that they're being lashed by the hurricane of duality based on mundane attraction and aversion. You know, to realize that you're actually being controlled by these desires, Not that you're, you know, following your heart and you know, doing whatever comes into your heart, you know, but you're actually being controlled by these energies, you know, pulling you this way, pulling you that way. It's actually a state of suffering. And so one who comes to that fortune of having that realization, if they're more fortunate, they will realize, you know, what's being expressed here. The only shelter is the lifeboat of the Holy Lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. What time is it now? Okay, we'll read a few more verses. So this is another one. There's a few here. Kulashekar. Shri Krishna Bhajanam Eva Marchanam Amritya Pradam. Only pure devotion for Lord Krishna awards immortality to the mortal. Idam Shariram Shata Shandi Jarjaram Patatyavashyam Parinama Peshalam Kim Oshodam Vrichashi Muda Dormate Iramayam Krishna Dasayanam Piba. And here there's a Bengali verse translation by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so Srila Sridhar Maharaj has selected that. Shata Shandi Jar Jar Tave Kalevar Patana Hoibe Kadin Basma Krimi Vishta Hobe Sakale Grinyatobe Ihate Mamatar Vachin Oreman Shunamor Hey Satya Vachan Hey Roger Mahaushadi Krishna Nam Niravadi Niramoy Krishna Rasayam. A dancing puppet of 100 joints, your mortal coil in its last moments. This physical form is doomed to destruction. Ashes to ashes, worm and dung. What was beautiful once is a horrible thing. To adore it is the gravest misconception. And it's such a wake-up call, you know, because you know, in one's youth, one can get so caught up, you know, with you know, one's beauty, one's body, but fast forward 50 years, like, my God, you know, I mean, like, old age is a real wake-up call, you know. Like, don't put all your bets on this, you know. Like, don't get overexcited about, like, how beautiful you look, how wonderful your hair is, or your, you know, what makeup you're wearing, and so on. And it's like, that's all gonna go. Like, I mean, it's frightening to see how people get so caught up about that, you know. And you just think, you know, that day's gonna come when you don't have that anymore. And then, of course, you have people who go into plastic surgery, and then there's all this madness over anti-aging and all this stuff. But one day, that day's going to come when you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to realize, wow, like, what I put so much energy into, what I put so much value on, now it's all gone. Now I need to go to something deeper. So, you know, here Bhaktivinoda Thakur's saving us from, like, don't waste your time now on all that. You know, like, wake up now. Don't wait till that day. Ashes to ashes, worm and dung. What was beautiful once is a horrible thing. To adore it is the gravest misconception. My dear mind, hear the truth attentively. The panacea for this malady. Chant Krishna's name constantly. Krishna is the life of immortality. And I want to read one more verse. This is the last in the series of Kulashekhar's verse. This is very beautiful. Atya dameshvapi bhagavan namnu bishta dachitvam. The holy name of the Lord bestows the most cherished objective upon even the most fallen. Satyam bravimi, and this is an expression of intense earnestness. Satyam bravimi manuja swayam urdva bahor yo yo mukunda narasimha janardaneti. And the sound is so beautiful, sweet too. Jivoja patya nudinam maranera neva pashana kashta sajishaya dadatya vishtam. I want to read that one more time. This meter is very nice. Some meters are like more heavy going. This is a very just rolls off, Very beautiful. Satyam bravimi manu, and it conveys like the sentiment here very beautifully. Satyam bravimi, O human civilization with arms upraised, urdvabhor, with arms upraised, I proclaim this truth. He's addressing the whole of humanity right here with this earnest, expression. O human civilization with arms upraised, I proclaim this truth. The holy name awards all desired success upon even stone or wooden-hearted persons who, in the struggle for existence, constantly chant the Lord's holy names, such as Mukunda, Narasimha, and Janardhan. O human civilization, with arms upraised, I proclaim this truth. The holy name awards all desired success upon even stone or wooden-hearted persons, who in the struggle for existence constantly chant the Lord's names, such as Mukunda, Narasimha, and Janardhan. Satyam bravimi manuja swayam urdva bahor yo Mukunda, Narasimha, Janardhaneti jivoja patya nudinam maranera neva pashana kashta sajishaya dadatya vishtam. Wow. This is a good place to stop. A good meditation for the day. Jai, Shishi Prapanna-jivanamritam ki Jai. Shila Bhakti Daksha Shidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati ki Jai. Tadiya Seva Vrinda ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vinda ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai. Jai Gaur Premanande.